Outcome based education. Today we will discuss vision, mission and core values, goal objectives and learning outcomes, and how to write smart learning objectives or outcomes. So, there is a confusion between what is the vision and mission. Okay? So, what is a vision? A vision statement outlines where you want to be. Okay? So, in that case, it is a big picture idea of what you want to achieve over a long period of time, that is the vision. So, it is just as a future plan. So, in that case, features of that effective vision statement, it is that the vision statement should be concise and easy to remember. Everyone in the organization can focus on the vision, everyone. So, when people focus on the vision, their daily activities are automatically directed towards achieving the vision. So, if you know the vision, then automatically we will go to the vision. Now, what is mission? A mission statement talks about how you will get to where you want to be. If you know the vision, you will go for the mission. So, it defines the purpose and primary objectives related to your customer needs and team values. So, mission is the general statement of how you will achieve your vision. A mission statement should answer 3 key questions. What are those questions? What do we do? For whom do we do? And where is the benefit? So, the features of the effective mission statement, there is some purpose and values of the organization, what business the organization wants to be in the case of the products, services or market, or who are the organization primary clients. Okay? So, in that case, what are the responsibilities of the organization towards these clients, and what are the main objectives that support the company in accomplishing the mission. So, suppose IIT Bombay's vision is to be the fountainhead of new ideas, of innovators in technology and science. This is the vision, and the mission, to achieve the vision, the mission is to create an ambience in which new ideas, research and scholarship flourish, and from which the leaders and innovators of tomorrow emerge. So, that is the mission. So, what is the difference between vision and mission? A vision statement is what the organization wants to become, and a mission statement is what the organization is all about. So, a mission statement gives the overall purpose of an organization, and the vision statement, it describes a picture of a perfect one, a preferred future. That is the vision. Now, if we know the mission and vision, now you have to know what is the core values. Core values define how you will behave during the process. Core values define the business, organization, institute in terms of the principles and the leaders will follow. So, in that case, core values defines the boundaries which the organization, institute leaders will conduct their activities while carrying out for the vision and mission. So, this is all about vision, mission and core values. Now, we will explain what is the aims, goals and objectives. Now, what is an aim? Aim is a broad idea of what you hope to achieve by the end of the lesson. Aims are a general statement, it concerning the overall goals, aims or intentions of teaching. Suppose you want your learner after your teaching in achieve this goal, right. So, if you consider that there is a river and the opposite of the river, the goal is there. So, the learner has to go and achieve that goal. So, there is some stepping stones, right. These stepping stones we call the objectives. So, that is the opposite side, that goal, that is the aim, and the stepping stones is nothing but the objectives. So, in that case, aims are general statements that provide direction, okay, and or intent to educational action, right. So, aims are usually long term. Long term outcome is mapping with that aims. Now, is it necessary on the aims in education? If there is an aim, we are aware of what we are doing and why we are doing it. So, there should be an aim. Aims are necessary to access the outcomes or results of the educative activity. Now, do I really need an aim? Without an aim, you have no direction for your objectives. So, to cross the river, that is the aim, right? And so, in that case, so if you have an aim, then only you will get the objectives, and you should decide on the aim of your lesson before writing the objectives. So, in a lesson, what I want, if I know what I want from the learner, if I know that, then it is easy for us, easy for the teacher to describe that what the objective is. So, here in this picture, what's there is one cat, another a fish. So, the cat, he wants to eat that fish. So, fish, to eat the fish is his aim, and the cat is thinking how to go and catch the fish. So, then he will decide. So, that is his objectives, and to eat the fish, it is his aim. So, what is the objective? It is a specific, a measurable milestone that must be achieved in order to reach the goal. So, objectives are the individual stages that learners must achieve on the way in order to reach these goals. So, the step will take to achieve the aim. Now, aims and objectives should be concise and brief, it should be interrelated. The aim is what you want to achieve, and objective describes how you are going to achieve the aim. It should be realistic about what you can accomplish in the duration of the project. Suppose an example, aim to know the different types of minerals found in the rocks. This is the aim. An objective, I will say, identify at least 3 minerals in a rock. The aim is identify to know different types of minerals found in the disk. But what is the objective? Well, in that case, we will say identify at least 3 minerals in the rock. Now, suppose example 2, an aim for a company would be to increase sale. Increase sale is, increase sale, this is the goal. But what is the objective? To increase sale by 10% within the next financial year. That is more compact and that is more specific, right. So, there is a difference between aims and objectives. What is that? Aims are very general and abstract, but objectives are very specific. Aims little bit slightly vague. This is the aim. It can be a general statement, but objective, it must be a specific, that the learner have to do this. So, it is very specific. Aims are what you want to achieve, but objectives are what you will do it to achieve. You have to do it in objective, right. So, there are more objectives than aim. Suppose a teacher might have an aim that a learner should be able to save work in the computer. So, in that case, the learner have to create a folder, navigate between the menus, save a document, these things. So, these are objectives, but the teacher's aim that learner should save a work in a computer, right. So, aims are like strategy and objectives are like tactics. Now, goals. What is goals? Goals is nothing but specific aims. Goals are the statement of purpose with some outcomes in mind. So, according to Wilson, goals are the statement of educational institution which are more specific than aims, right. So, suppose a course goal. A course goal indicate a broad learning outcome. Students will acquire at the end of the course. At the end of the course, this is the goal. The goal aims at providing a good overview about the course. However, the goal must be realistic and achievable, but it is not usually measurable, but objective is measurable, but goal in that case it is realistic and it should be achievable. You can't imagine that your learner will, if you don't an unrealistic unrealistic goal you don't give them. So, course objective indicates a specific learning outcome which is derived from the course goal. All course learning objective should be measurable, which means that it is easy to observe when if students succeed or fail to learn a specific task. So, there is a difference between the goals and the objectives. Goals, from the meaning point of view, the purpose toward which an endeavor is directed. Objectives is something that one's effort or actions are intended to attain or accomplish purpose or target. So, from the principal point of view, goals is based on the ideas of the teacher, this is the goal, and objectives it's based on the facts, whatever they have to do, principle is based on the facts. From the measure point of view, goals may be strictly measurable or tangible, but what is the difference between the goals and objectives? Now, from the meaning point of view, the goals is the purpose toward which an endeavor is directed, that is the goals, and objectives something that one's efforts or actions are intended to attain or accomplish purpose, that is the target. So, from the principle, goals is based on the ideas, but objective it based on the facts. From the measure point of view, goals may not be strictly measurable. It is may not be strictly, it is the aim, right? It is the goal of the teacher, but what goal of the learner or from the learner point of view, from the instructor's point of view, but objective it must be measurable and tangible. From the orientation point of view, I can say goal is teacher oriented, but objective is learner oriented, what the learner can do, and in the goals means what the teacher wants. So, action it is generic action, but in the objective it is specific action. Now, from the time frame it is longer term, right, goal. In the longer term the learner can achieve, but objective it is made to short term. So, there are some steps to writing the learning objectives, and some question it will come when you will write, we will check that whether it is this question always you when you will write the learning objective, we will keep this in our mind. What do you want to accomplish, right? What steps will you take to accomplish your objective? What activities will you do? How you will acquire the learning? Under what condition will the learning occur? How you will measure your objective, right? So, what now these things when you will write the learning objective we will keep in our mind. Now, what is learning outcome? What is learning outcome? Learning outcomes are simply what students are capable of doing upon completion of the course or the program. A good learning outcome states what a student will know or be able to do at the end of the instruction. At the end of the 40 hours of the course, what the student can do it, that is important, not the rote learning. So, it focuses on student performance, what they can perform, right. So, there are some benefits using learning outcome from students' point of view. What is that? Learning outcome, it focuses on the learner. Well written learning outcome should give students precise statements of what is expected of them. If the learning outcome is written, so if they after learning or after studying, we will achieve this. What the teacher wants, that is the student can, this is the learning outcome. If they know, it is easy for them to learn on their own. Students can use the outcomes to measure and guide their own learning and determine how much support to ask for pursue. Benefits of using learning outcome from the instruction point of view. What is that? Outcomes help in planning instruction, right. They help break down the syllabuses and the teaching processes. They can break down so that the instructor selects some meaningful content or materials and activities to aid the meeting of an outcome. So, they help facilitate assessment and evaluation. What is that? If they know that this is the learning outcome and this the learner will get, in that case, they can make their question paper, assessment and evaluation paper according to that. So, they should align a course with a program and curriculum, that is a set of course level outcome should nest within the program outcome. That we will discuss in our next and how they can the assessment and evaluation they can do. Now, there is a difference between the objectives and outcomes. Now, what the objectives are? Often written more in terms of teaching intentions, right, and typically intended the subject content that the teachers intend to cover, what the amount the teacher intended to cover it. They are generally less broad than goal. If the goal it's a very broad, it is generally less broad than the goal, but it is more broad than the learning outcome. So, goal, objectives, learning outcome. Now, learning outcome are most student or the learner centered and described what it is that the learner should learn. So, there is a difference between the objectives and the outcomes. So, objectives, something that owner's effort or actions are intended to attain or accomplish purpose, target after a given period of time. But the outcomes, something that owner's efforts or actions are intended to attain or accomplish, but in a given period of time. Okay? So, what is the principle? It based objective, it based on the facts, and outcomes, it based on the detailed facts. Measure, it must be measurable and tangible, but outcome, it must be measurable and tangible as per the objective. If this objective is given, so that learning outcome, whether it is achieved or not, that we have to see. The plan, objective is medium plan, but outcome is more narrow. Learning outcome is a narrow plan. Action, objective is a specific action, but outcomes is the specific action of each topic, right. So, time frame, it is a mid or short term, but it is very short term, right. So, course objectives and course learning outcomes. Suppose what the teacher expects students to know and be able to do at the end of the instruction, that is the course objective, And learning outcome, what the students are able to do. So, specific, do at the end of the instruction. Now, it is not course objectives, is not behavioral in nature. Verbs is know, understand, you may know, I may not, you may understand, I may not. One student can understand, another may not. But in the learning outcome, the action verbs are very selected. Identify this, discuss this, evaluate your answer, justify your answer. So, that is the learning outcome. One course objective may generate several learning outcomes, right, but several learning outcomes altogether, they are derived from one course objective. Now, objectives are intended results or consequences of instruction, curricula, programs or activities, but outcomes are achieved results of the consequences of what was learned. So, evidence that some learning took place, that is the thing, learning outcome. So, just in this picture, the goals is a broad thing. It will the critical thinking, transfer of contents, creativity. So, this is the goals. In that goals, a part that is the objectives. Objective is the stepping stones to achieve that goal, right. So, in that case, the instruction, analysis of the, case studies, case discussion, to achieve that goal, the learner have to do the case studies, case instruction, and what is the learning outcome? Using this instruction, analysis and discussion, what the learner can produce, right, that is the learning outcome. So, that is the difference, that is the total picture. I can say that the goals, objectives and learning outcome. Now, in the syllabus, if I write what is the course goal as a teacher, what is the course goal, what the objectives, what the learning outcome you want from your learner, right. If it is clear, then it is easy for the learner to know, okay, this teacher, he wants that after 40 hours of lecture, they wants that, so that they can prepare, on their own to achieve that in the class, or they can, concentrate so that they can get that learning outcome. Now, suppose example 1, speaking, right. The goal is to apply the skills and strategies of a successful speaker. So, that is the goal. Now, what is the objectives for speaking or oral presentations? Suppose discuss and respond to content of a reading or listening passage, right. Discuss, respond, it is important. Use communication strategies to participate in group and class discussions. Select, compile and synthesize information for an oral presentation and deliver an effective oral presentation. So, that is the objectives the teacher thinks. So, what is the learning outcome? Given a topic to research and present in class, the student will able to focus on the topic, apply research procedures and locate and select relevant information. So, that is the things, goals, objectives and outcomes. Now, I will how to write a smart learning objectives or outcome. Learning objective should be smart. What is that smart? S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant and T for time related, right. So, smart learning objective, the first S, specific. What is specific about the goal? Is first, encourage more people to join the sports center. Is it specific? No. Increase membership of the sports center. So, encourage, that is the increase it. So, it is very specific. Okay? Conduct research. Is it more specific? No. Formulate plans for research on topics X. So, this is more specific. So, specific means that the objective is concrete, detail focused and well defined, right. So, some question, you will think that when is specific, when write the objective or outcome. What exactly are we going to do with or for whom? What strategies will be used? Is the objective described with action verbs? Is it clear who is involved? Is it clear where this will happen? Is it clear what will happen? Is the outcome clear? So, will the objective lead to the desired results? So, it should be very, when we will write the learning objective and outcome, it should be very specific. Now, the M for the measurable. M, is the goal measurable? How will be determined that the goal has been achieved? So, it should be measurable. So, increase membership of the sports center, but is it measurable? No. Increase membership of the sports center by suppose 10%. So, 10%, it is measurable, right. Formulate plans for the research topic X, but here formulate plans for the research on topic X and submit grant application to X research council. So, it is measurable. So, the objective can be measured and the measurement source is identified, right. All activities should be measured at some level. How much? How many? How will I know when it is accomplished? How will I know that the change has been occurred, right? Can these measurements be obtained? So, all these, when you will write, is it measurable? That point we should keep it in our mind. Smart, it should be A for achievable. Is the goal achievable? So, the objective, if I say expectation of what accomplished must be realistic, within the time period. So, is it really achievable? So, can we, if I think that they can do that, it is, our problem. So, in that case, whether the objective is achievable or not, that we have to think. So, can we get it done in the proposed time frame? Do I understand the limitations and constraints? Has anyone else done this successfully? Is this possible? So, this is for the achievable part, the smart A. What is R? R is that realistic. R is the goal realistic to performance expectations or professional development. To be realistic, it must represent an objective toward which you are both willing and able to work. Your objective is probably realistic if you truly believe that it can be. You have to believe that, okay, it can be achievable, so it should be realistic. Objective should be challenging, but achievable. They should not be unrealistic. Suppose if I think that, that it is my plan is to lose 10 pounds in weight, but it is unrealistic to plan if I lose 10 pounds, in 1 week. It is very difficult. So, this is the plan should be very realistic. T is for time bounded. Increase membership of the sports center by 10%, the previous, but increase membership of the sports center by 10% over the next 6 months. So, that is the time period we should maintain. Formulate plans for the research topics X and submit grant application to X research council, but by 1st June 2009. So, this 1st June 2000, the time bounded. Once a month, update all library web page and so once a month. Circulate minutes of committee Y within 5 days of the meeting. So, 5 days of the meeting is important. So, that in the SMART, we should be, when we will write the learning objectives and learning outcome, we will think these 5 points carefully and then only we will write the learning objectives. Thank you.